Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pitch welcome you all honorable judges, fellow participants, and distinguished audience. My name is Nurhaliza, proudly representing the Psychology Study Program at University Aisyiyah, Yogyakarta. And today I'm deeply honored to join this competition virtually with helpful of hope and a voice that seeks justice, compassion, and change. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in an era full of contradictions. On one hand, modern science and technology have brought tremendous advancements in healthcare, making treatments more effective and diagnosis more accurate. On the other hand, health equity remains a distant dream for many. Around the world, millions still struggle to access basic healthcare due to poverty, discrimination, conflict, or geographical barriers. This is not just a medical issue, it is a moral and social crisis. Health is not a privilege, it is a human right. Ladies and gentlemen, let us reflect on this issue through the timeless lens of Islamic principles. Islam teaches us that every human life is sacred and that the pursuit of justice is a divine command. In Surah An-Nisa chapter 4 verse 135, Allah commands us to uphold justice even if it is against ourselves or those closest to us. Justice in the context of health means ensuring that no one is left behind, regardless of their background, ethnicity, gender, or socioeconomic status. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most pressing issues today is the mental health crisis, especially among youth. Many young people run suffering in silence, unable to access care due to stigma or lack of resources. As psychologist student, I see how critical it is to build a system that is not only accessible but also compassionate and culturally sensitive. Islamic promotes empathy and care for the vulnerable. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Whoever believes a believer's distress, Allah will relieve his distress on the day of judgment." Ladies and gentlemen, we must also speak about health disparities among marginalized communities, including refugees, people with disabilities, and those affected by climate change. These are not isolated problems. They are interconnected injustices that demand a holistic and spiritual response. Islamic ethics call for rahmah or mercy, justice, and responsibility, values that must guide our health system and police. Ladies and gentlemen, so what can we do? We must empower communities through education, awareness, and advocacy. We must pass for policies that reflect Makashadi al-Sharia, the higher objectivities of Islamic law, which include the protection of life, intellect, and dignity. And we must build bridges between science and spirituality, policy, and compassion. Ladies and gentlemen, let our voices be the voice of justice. Let our vision be one of equity, and let our mission be inspired by our faith. Ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, I invite all of us to become a active agent of change, not just by raising our voices, but by taking action starting in our own communities. Because when we combine the power of knowledge with strength of unity and the wisdom of Islamic values, we can truly achieve health equity for all. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and may our efforts be guided by sincerity and purpose. I am Nurhaliza Iskandar from Aisyiyah University, Yogyakarta, Psychology Study Program 6th semester student. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.